Hello again, treasured visitor. Rebecca here from www.rebeccastreasures.com, and welcome to part 3C of the Otis Giraffe Crochet Along. Now it's time to crochet the giraffe tail for the body. Let's get to it. Supplies you'll need for the tail include both the main and alternate color yarns you're using, your crochet hook, stitch markers, scissors, and a ruler or a measuring tape. Important notes before we begin. Make one tail. It is crocheted with the main color and tail hairs are worked with the alternate color. The tail gets joined later to the body's 9th round, just like the legs. It has 7 rounds total, ending with 4 stitches in the final round. And again, the wrong side faces you, but since the stitch count is so small, just make sure you insert your hook from the center and out of the stitches. Let's begin. Okay, we're ready to crochet the tail. So start with a magic ring or a magic circle. Now single crochet 4 into the magic circle. Close your magic circle tightly. Now lift up the first stitch to loosen it. We're going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch around for several rounds, but we're going to put a stitch marker into this first stitch so we'll be able to count over the rounds. Now single crochet 4 for a total of 6 rounds, so 1 single crochet into each stitch. You may like to single crochet over this tail for this round. It's very small, so it may be a bit tricky if you're not used to crocheting small things. But with a little bit of patience, you'll be able to do it. You may like to continue crocheting over this tail for a few rounds. We'll meet back here at the end of round 7. Okay, I've just completed 6 rounds of single crochet 4 for the tail. You can make it a little longer if you like, but it will be a good size once we add the tail hairs. Count rounds to verify, then slip stitch into the next stitch, fasten off, and pull all the way through. Your starting tail should be in here or crocheted around. Now we may begin attaching the tail hairs. You'll need several strands of the alternate color yarn. It should be about 3 to 5 inches long, 3 inches or 8 centimeters if working in a lightweight, say thread, or you may want it closer to 5 inches long or 13 centimeters in length if you're working with yarn like sport or worsted. Anyways, take one strand at a time. In my case, I'm taking 3 strands of thread because I've been tripling up on my thread to make a sport yarn. Fold it in half to create a loop at the top. Next, grab your tail. You should still have a stitch marker that marks where the first stitch is. Insert hook into the first stitch and up through the center of the magic circle. This may be a bit tricky if you did things really tight, but you should be able to slip your hook right through. Grab the loop of the tail hair, pull it part way through so you've got a loop, Then grab the tails and pull them through. If you've ever worked on a latch hook project, this is exactly the same thing. Grab another strand of yarn and we will repeat this around for the first round. Go into the next stitch right over here and up through the magic circle again. Grab the yarn, pull it through part way and complete like so. Repeat this around for each of the stitches. You'll want to do this for the first and second rounds, so you'll repeat this 8 to 12 times total, depending on how thick you'd like your tail hairs to be. I've got the third one done, just one more left for this round before we move up to the next round. Again, you're folding them in half, pulling it through and through, so you're creating the tails. The first round is done, so I'm taking the stitch marker out. Now what you want to do is work from the round above to the round we just worked in, and we'll repeat the same thing around. So grab it, pull it through and through, in this fashion, and repeat. So you just fill up the bottom so that it looks neat and tidy. You may find when you get to the second round, you have these spaces in between that show the main color. You can easily hide them by going into the middle of a stitch or the same stitches to the opposite side, and that will fill in the spaces. So you can go around round 2, doubling up by going into another stitch below. You can see it's starting to fill up very nicely here. Of course, you can work this until it's how you like it, and then, if you need to, trim the excess tails to even them out, or leave them as is, and that's the tail completed. I hope you're having lots of fun crocheting Otis Giraffe. Get support and support me by joining the various events and groups across my social channels on Facebook, Ravelry, and Google+. Share your progress there and make new friends too. Hashtag Otis Giraffe Cal when sharing your progress to let us all know you're crocheting with us. Tag me at my user @BeccasTreasures on Instagram and Twitter so that I can see you there too. Finally, find the written pattern in multiple language for this part via my blog at www.rebeccastreasures.com/blog. Thanks for watching Part 3C, How to Crochet the Tail of the Otis Giraffe Crochet Along. I hope the tail was easy for you. Please let me know if you need any help with anything at all, and again, additional support and resources are linked below. Sharing this video, hitting that thumbs up, and subscribing to my channel helps it to grow. Thank you! Part 4, How to Crochet Otis Giraffe's Body is up next. Make sure you have all your limbs and spots at the ready. See you again there.